Today's date is August 11th in the year 2024. I am the one and only Alex Ansary on a planet of 8 billion and growing, and with way too many demon souls, if you want my honest opinion. What would a guy like me, an angel soul, aspiring at least, even if you don't agree, what would a person like me be doing here in 2020, going crazy, doing this, and then putting on glasses so that people can identify me, see my beauty? Why would I do that? Why would I hide my beauty and intelligence with double masks and spectacles? Because I woke up that I was in a place of evil. Because I woke up that I was in a place of extreme suffering and darkness. Let me adjust the lighting slightly so you understand that I felt stalked by aspects of the audience. Understand? And I left my equity up there. I left my equity. I left my land, right? What we're going to be talking about today is I'm going to be recounting because she took the time to talk to me. I'm going to be talking to the one and only because we have authorization to promote her now with her permission. Because I don't believe in ever showing a woman's face. I'm not an Orthodox Muslim, but I believe that we should protect women, their identities, and not show their faces unless they give permission, especially when they're beautiful and they're godly. We are to protect them and not shame them when they turn off their social media accounts, when they hide their faces and their extreme beauty. They are to be applauded and respected for being wary of men that approach them and may seem sexual. I made a mistake for making a blog locally and talking about wanting to, meet women and sex being shamed. And then I had an epiphany that making a blog like that is going to make you seem carnal. And if they're Christian and you're talking about fornication. So I am thinking about someone that I now call subject. I'm just going to call it Subject X. And it's just a human being here on planet Earth that I saw and went, wow, look at that. She looked like me in 2020. Spectacles, mask, not trying to make eye contact, not just looking at the screen. Although at that point, it was about me looking away from the screen, the internet and all that conspiracy stuff. And I accepted the official story of COVID while also fighting fake news about COVID. I chose to not be a conspiracy theorist, an active conspiracy theorist during the COVID years. And I went along with the program because I did interpret some of the people that were hating on the mass people to be violent, the people that were, and I came to a place of higher education where there's books locally. And I filmed actually a black woman getting angry that staff at a place of higher education where there's books was basically telling her to put on her mask. And basically what I'm saying to you is I respect the people that believe that we should be safe. I don't think that people should be violent with people that want people to wear masks. I think you should respect that. And you should respect people from other countries that want to wear a hijab, even if I don't think that they are necessarily the most spiritual. And I think that the whole covering of the face when you're beautiful and covering of the breast when you're beautiful and covering of the ass when you're beautiful is actually smart and to be respected. And women are not to be attacked and scorned and called racist or berate them if they don't talk to you for months and months and months. I came on strong on a human being that I think is angelic. And I pray that I didn't scare her away. And no doubt there's going to be people watching now from there. And I'm going to talk about this and move forward. I will go back to that blog and delist it and rewrite it and not make references to locals so that they feel safe. I don't want you to be afraid. I want you to feel brave and realize that you were sent here by God to become awake and to be resistant to the carnalism, to be resistant to the evil, to be resistant to strange men trying to take you out. You were gifted, like my friend here possibly, with gnosis. So let's move forward. When you decide to sit down and talk to a female, an interview, if you're a male podcaster, a couple things you want to keep your lust in check and maybe have 5 or 6 days without, going down a certain route. I have way more than that when it comes to not looking at adult content, but I am on a mission to expose adult content, not be labeled a pervert. I'm on a mission to be a whistleblower, and I see myself as one of the 144,000, and unlike others that are watching the chosen one videos that aren't making content, I can prove that I am. And it may not even be 144,000 if you want to twist my arm. I don't know the others. I'm just giving the benefit of the doubt. I don't know anybody else. There's nobody else that I listen to that's putting out content that I consider at my level. I see people drifting into left-wing craziness, right-wing craziness. If you really are aware of people that say all lives matter, including the people eradicated off the face of the earth, because I will not listen to people that will not acknowledge the truth about 9/11. If you think that other things and talking about 2030 and, microchips is more important than still not addressing the fact that your government may have created a fake terror attack, that's no bueno. The reason why I told the library I'm angry with them and will not trust them and snapped at them, in case they're watching, is because Alex Jones went down a Nazi path, in my opinion, even though I'm not saying pull his stuff. I like Terror Storm. I want you to watch Terror Storm, but I want you to understand I'm pissed off that I dealt with hardship and I'm better than him. I care about Latinas. I don't think they are all La Raza. But honestly, if you're going to judge me, I'm asking in a non-racist way, does Donald Trump and Alex Jones have a point about such extreme differences between us Anglos and Celtics, us white people, and the Hispanic culture? Because there was a lot of racism that they threw at us, including me, when I tried to go there. And the thing is, in my heart, I feel a kinship with Latinas. But the fact is, when you go outside your race, it can be very difficult to look. This is the truth. When you go outside your race, there can be some positive and negatives, but it can be very difficult to receive a certain level of heart empathy and affection when they're not your race. And I'll tell you what, to put out if they're being given housing. And the vast majority of women in this world have to put out for evil men. They have to give up that vagina. And the vast majority of women that I've known in this life would make me give up my penis to have shelter. And a woman named Kimberly in 2013 literally said that either you're going to me or I'm going to get someone who will. And it was nasty with that person, nasty as can be. And so we men are led to hell by women that advertise what they're not selling. And so people that decide that they're going to take back those actions, I would hope that they're going to do it because they're realizing that that's not the godly way, not because they're afraid of me or afraid. No. The people watching me are watching me from other cities for the most part. They're not here. The people here are not resistant. They're not coming to the website. Very few clicks are on the local website where I talked about human trafficking. So I'm going to go back to that local website. I'm going to delist some videos in which I spoke in a less godly way 1 month ago when I started it, and then blast it with well-edited, with pictures, and I'm going to stand up for people in the local community, and you're going to hear about me later, and you're going to see the type of man that I am. And I'm going to do it without fear, but without being reckless. Because you need mindful, spiritual, kuji-kuri ninja warriors. They're not just spreading their lustful energy all over. Because I'm telling you, by me learning about the solar cycles and my sexuality being quiet and dormant, my root chakra has opened like a portal. And instead of it being a bad thing, I should channel that root chakra energy towards powerful things. Now, so I'm going to recount what we talked about. I'm going to recount, this is a historic video, what I talked about with this beautiful woman. And I'm going to try to summarize it, but for whatever reason, our audio file did not record. And this is not the first time. A Jewish man by the name of Aaron talked to me a few months ago. We're no longer friends because he thinks I'm in the left-right paradigm. But I see him as being pro-right-wing, very, very anti-left, pro-right, and then calling me in the left-right paradigm when I know I'm outside the left-right paradigm. So I know he's one of them. I know he doesn't believe Afghan lives matter. I know he can't say that. I know that there is a rift, unfortunately, with people of the Jewish heritage, including people that I've talked to recently. It's sad, but when you're Goyim, you need to understand what you're dealing with. Okay? For those of us that don't have the opportunity to go to other countries, when the you-know-what hits the fan, no, we're not equals for XYZ reasons. You understand? You need to understand the situation if you're trying to help. And not act like we're on an equal playing field. Because there is a reason why, let's begin. Accidental Warrior and I were concerned about aliens or archons attacking us for being powerful souls. She talked about being able to manipulate weather with her mind. She talked about being homeless. Okay, maybe God didn't want us to talk about those personal details, but God is authorizing us to work together to save the day. And we are now talking about making joint podcasts to wake your asses up. She's scared, though. She could deal with hardship for even talking to me. But I believe, and I told her that I believe the time is now for us to do this. But I don't want her to do anything that's going to cause her hardship. And so she's not going to be forced into this. And maybe the creator steps in our computer and says, no, get rid of that file. Don't go to that website. Don't talk to that person. Don't post that on the internet. In fact, delete. And then the evil entities might come and go, oh, you guys just talked about something historic. We're going to make sure that that never goes online. So there could have been something with me and Aaron, and that file was deep. But again, my computer was full, not last night. So where's the file? It's gone. Should she be scared? She shouldn't. But when people try to connect, there'll be computer problems. And if you're trying to like date a woman or bring a woman to the light who's looking at a screen all day, if she doesn't know about demons and she's not spiritual, she could easily be turned against that man and fear that man if she's on her computer all day long, not using blue light glasses. And I'm concerned. I'm using my intuition because when I look at the profile pic on social media, I see very conscious, loving being of light. But when I'm looking at the person 1 year later or 2 years later, with the spectacles, there's a big vibration of fear. And I'm going, can I crack that shell? Because it's not about sleeping with her, not even touching her hand. But if I can make eye contact and get some sort of recognition or a like or an email that I literally reached a soul and she's listening and she hasn't turned me off. She needs to understand if you're listening, it's not about you, honey, if you're young. But I think you get it if you are one of us, the 1%. Of angels, or that you're willing to be converted to one, because you're showing some signs that are proper when it comes to modesty. And I shouldn't be ripping off my shirt, attracting unhealthy women to send me messages 30 at a time saying, come to my house now, here's my address, what are you waiting for, my legs are open, womp 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 womp. You're such a loser for not coming over. I sent you 40 messages, 50 messages, here's 60 messages. Come on over, I love you. And I don't even know you. What you're doing is unhealthy. What you're doing is encouraging fornication. What you're doing is showing me that you are not one of us. And so women need to understand that women do this to men and men do this to women. It's not race or gender. It's angels versus demons. And so someone could be pressured into, from the psychic planes, I see you. Women are conditioned in high school to look super pretty and put on the makeup and smile. When I look deep into those eyes, you're ready to meet a psychic lady, then I know that you're suffering and someone made you smile. You were pressured to look pretty. You were pressured to wear makeup. You were pressured because society is brainwashing us. And society has brainwashed many, and is little girls, preteens to look sexy, and society is running around calling men that aren't pedophiles. When our bodies were programmed to go down that route, and godly men resist what's in the DNA. This is not spoken of. Or if it is spoken of, tell me who speaks of this. These bodies that we have a sinful, dark nature. And when you're born, you need to learn the godly, spiritual, moral path so that when you develop sexual feelings when you're a young boy, you don't go raping people. I've slept with older 5 or 6 women that I didn't sleep with. In other words, out of the 30 to 40, I don't know the exact number of women that I fornicated with, 5 or 6 felt safe enough to sleep with me knowing that I wouldn't R them. Did you know this? And something tells me that I've told you lots of fornication stories, but I didn't tell you the good stuff. I didn't tell you about making out with a 16-year-old when I was 16. So we were both 16. Maybe she was 17. I was 16. We were both young, and it was not sex. It was making out in my bed at my dad's place in Southwest Portland. And she kept doing that. I'm turning you on. Now I'm turning you off. I'm turning you on, getting you rock hard, having my shirt off, kissing you, and now I'm turning it down. And now I'm getting it going. And I was the friend of a person that she was dating, and she was getting off doing, I'm going to go with the friend thing. And then just getting me very aroused, but I knew to keep the self-control and not do anything else. In another experience, a deeper story behind that, the A-man story giving me the alcohol, I got busted self-pleasuring because I refused to act on a dark program to take advantage of a sleeping female who was dumb enough. Maybe she invited it in. Some of them will do that. They will literally get passed out on alcohol, tequila in someone's apartment without even thinking, without even a parent in their life to say, you don't do that. You don't drink alcohol and hang out with strange men and not expect something bad to happen. Another experience. I'm 28. It's Portland, Oregon. It's a redhead. Her name is Megan. She at one point was subscribed to my Substack. So at least 10 women that I've slept with watch my channel, and many of them I've actually called Satanists. I've blamed them for my downfall, for leading me into temptation, and I've cast them out and said, fuck off and don't masturbate to me. And I'm not masturbating to any of you anymore. And I used to. Not so much local people. I try to keep that in check, knowing that's not good. No, seriously, as far as you local people, I knew it was unhealthy to go down that route. I've been exploring sexual morality and being anti-rough sex verbally for over 15 or 20 years, if you want my opinion. I've been pro-romance verbally in my consciousness for many, many years. You need to know that about me. And I made a mistake allowing the carnal side of me to be too verbal on 2025 Countdown and scared away some nice ladies. Oh, you did that? Oh my God, that stuff happens? I've never even seen porno. Porno exists, and that's what they're projecting. Oh my God, you're such a pervert. Oh my God, that exists. You looked at that? Ladies, listen. So when we're in a world where they make it free and they promote it, like in Portland and places where people self-pleasure and women promote it, that's what society's telling you it is. And once you click play on those horrible websites, the demons come in to brainwash you, men and women, to tell you it's normal, and this is what the demon says telepathically. This is the natural way. Women are to be treated and manhandled like property by many men. This is the natural way. And so you become possessed by evil thoughts. And even if you know that's not the evil way. And so what I'm watching now on YouTube are the many videos on why you should not watch pornography, because it opens up portals to the evil one's lair. And we get marked for detention. I don't know if we're marked for hell permanently, but we bring bad things to us. And the godly women psychically know to stay away from us. And so in Gypsy Foxes, I have that look in my eyes. It feels at times a little judgmental, but I take it seriously if it's real. Now, I talked about that with External Warrior and other things, and she told me about a Mormon priest or somebody who created anti-masturbation pamphlets for children and ended up having cancer in the you-know-what. I'm not trying to go on an extreme route, but I'm trying to force myself to not experience those thoughts, because I want to attract someone who wants a good man who's not thinking about sex. That's it. I'm willing to go to a park with someone, not sweat heavily in lust, but to be a calm Jedi who's not fapping, who can sit and mentor young women without thinking about them, without their clothing. I already have that power now. I have that power now. I have the power to talk to a sexy lesbian and not think improper thoughts. But I honestly did think about that lesbian at the pet shop. I didn't give her my given birth name. I only gave the given birth name, surname, to two women that I decided to trust with my life. And then I wondered the whole time, did they tell their boyfriends about me? Did they tell their brothers about me? Did they judge me? Are they racist? Do they think I'm a terrorist? I trusted two women. Yes, they're women. They're of age. They're over 18 or 19 or 20 with my life. And they don't even get that. I even gave one my address. Literally. The gold gut, but it doesn't matter. The system already knows. How long am I going to live in fear? Sometimes you've got to be bold. Sometimes you've got to show them, if you are attracting a godly woman or trying to, that you're willing to die for your beliefs. You don't want to die for your beliefs, but you're willing to die. So let's get back to External Warrior, and I'm going to leave you a link to her channel. She is part Indian, she is part English, she is part French, and she may have some, she used the word mulatto. So there is a variety of genetics within her. And there's a variety of genetics within me, and I haven't even had a full DNA test. And you would probably be very surprised or not surprised to find out what DNA is inside me that you do not know, that I do not know. Right? But there is a vast white man history within me with the tan overlay that made me come out different, intellectually, spiritually. I literally am inferior. I have like an electricity in my eyes, which some people cannot identify beyond lust. They can't identify the other aspects of the magnetism in the eyes. Or if they do, they don't verbalize it. And so for those of you throwing stones in a glass house, you know who you are. You need to step up the complementary aspect and not let the darkness of this world, the was, only let you see the dark side of me. So again, I made a decision because I care for this person who's a stranger. And this is in our tradition as humans, to be mesmerized by absolute strangers. And I will not apologize for falling in love now with someone I don't know. I'm not going to do black magic to attract her. I'm going to ask God if there's a reason why I felt like talking to her. And if I'm wrong, then I want God to show me that I'm wrong. Not so much that she's evil, but that I'm not to talk to her. And so I won't ever go to her again to respect her, and will remove content from the internet that may have spoken to viciously against human traffickers and may have sounded too fearful about the rapist aliens coming to destroy our world because Earth is being turned into hell. Now, when you go full like, vroom, 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 come on, little lady, we're literally going to floor in the freeway. She's going to start screaming and looking for the back door. You're going too fast. And then she's wondering if you're plotting something. You're just hitting her with too much. Who are you exactly? Are you really a typical mortal, or are you El Diablo? And that's really what happens, unfortunately. Even with Excellent Warrior, she's like, at times you seem godly, at times I wonder. And so when she said that I had a father-like figure, didn't want to think about me like that, it made me feel bad, and then it made me feel good. And then I said to her that I would not think about her in that way. And then some days passed, and she's moving from one place. We don't need to know the details, but she's really fearing that she's going to become homeless. So let's pray for Accident Warrior. She talked about child abuse. She talked about being beat up for being mixed race. Og talked about being beat up. She talked about what she felt about my mother setting me up on a contract level, which is what I feel like as we approach the September supernova, that we're seeing the demons for who they are, and some that have the potential to be angel souls are being put on notice. Change right now in the coming weeks. You might be feeling extreme sexuality, spirituality. You might be feeling yourself becoming really dark and depressed. Maybe there's a reason why you're feeling depressed and dark. So, in spirit, put on the veil then. Know when to hide your beauty. Keep some masks around. Know that facial recognition is tracking your location. Don't lie to me and tell me that there's a real virus, because they put me away for 9 days. And little lady, if you're watching, you need to know something. Look at my ears looking like Mr. Bean. They didn't give a fuck about masks. There were no masks. There was no social distancing. This whole social distancing is part of a larger psyops to divide us. And it did result in people turning to violent pornography. And look, I peeked at pornography after quitting it, and they had vicious cartoons of Muslims raping women to death and things like that people were masturbating to. And they literally show like the violence inside the body of the female with animation. You need to hear this and stop judging me, because they put it on the main page. So if you're just curious about sexuality, you click, and then this horrible thing. And then I'm talking to Axel Warrior, and she said, don't feel guilty about self-pleasure and maybe having violent thoughts. And I was feeling conflicted when she said that, because I feel that if we men are expected to not be lustful, to not look at women and commit adultery in our mind, then we should not. And we should resist any. So I need to find, is there a no-fap master out there? But is there like a Zen guy who literally covers real world news and exposes evil? No, answer the question. Because men that just talk about don't masturbate, don't watch porn, and that's all they talk about, are the biggest dorks that have ever existed. Get a fucking life. Cover real shit. Listen, the only reason we're bringing that up is because I'm saying now that I believe that conquering lust is the final frontier, Star Trek style, for me finding my goddess woman and leaving this earth and going back to Atlantis or the new one. Not this one, but, forget the term Venus. Planet B. Up where we belong. Basically, I confronted this. I confronted that. I confronted that. And all my life, I kept failing. All my life, what was missing? Jesus. What was missing? Confronting my sexual immorality. What was missing? Confronting how evil porn is. What was missing? A willingness to help take down the earth grid, because as I need to say this now and then get off at 33 minutes. I want to have a child, but I made a decision today. We are not to have the children. We're not even to think about having children until the porno websites go down. I fear for parents with children, with beautiful girls. And I'm telling you, I as a man with a high libido have to turn down my natural senses, because it's not lust. It's my body wanting to create family. When I see the beautiful blonde girl at the Christian coffee shop, I want to look at her again, because I'm realizing that I'm feeling attracted to her now. And I need to stop what I'm doing. And I glanced at her a few times, and she glances at me. And I declared to these women, I am 144,000. I am a prophet. We are not to think lustful thoughts. We are to keep them in check. I'm now introducing myself to women and avoiding looking at them with lust. And the only reason I went to that library last week was because I was going to look her in the eyes, keep my lust in check, and tell her that I just want to be her friend. Not ask her a bunch of questions about this, that, and the other. Just be calm. Forget dinner. Can I talk to you a few minutes at a time every week? Can I volunteer here? And then I was told by my friend, don't do that. Don't email her. They're watching you. And then she said, and I felt like it was an insult, but she's just being honest. You know, if you took my advice and you just volunteered at that library and didn't do what you did, you would have met her. Okay. It feels like a jab, okay? But you're right, but we live in a millennial TikTok generation. I thought that I was being proper and doing the right thing for talking to a young woman without talking to her face. I thought that I was being a good man by creating distance between us through an email, not talking pornographic, but talking about dinner, wanting to hold hands, that will still be seen as pervertish. Now look at my height. I'm 5'6", 5'7". Should I be with a tall blonde woman? They don't see anything with a short man. And so you need to understand that it's not pedophilia to realize when you're a short man that you should, I don't want to use the word profile, but stick with your own height. And I don't think that all women out there necessarily want a Nephilim giant if that's not in their DNA. Many women out there may want a man who's not super strong, who's not super abusive, who's like them, but they need someone strong enough to be able to stop certain attacks. But to be honest with you, the evil that's coming for beautiful women is so extreme, and I'm so terrified that I'm willing to not have children and not have a girlfriend. And I don't want to say and be killed, but it gets that bad. That the world is so evil and loveless that I shouldn't stop God's wrath or fear God's wrath. And I open up to, see how my eyes look a certain way when I blink like that? That's not lust, folks. A lot of you that are looking at this going, what's going on with his eyes? Is he demonic? Stop that. I realize I'm changing. Don't kill me. Please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me for seeing weird things and phenomena on the screen. Please stop thinking everything is demonic. Now, 60 of you have unsubscribed. Is that you as humans or is that AI? Because I'm asking those of you that are evil to get the fuck out. And there's like thousands of you on this main channel. So it's go time, folks. We could literally be destroyed at any time. And 30 of you show up every day to this. 50 of you showed up, but 0 of you donate. Patrick donates on occasion. He's not expected to donate on a regular basis. He's encouraged not to do that because he's one man. And so if I end up in a situation where I want to provide for someone, you best believe that you will be challenged to support me financially way more than you ever have in your life. And you will. You will shell out money for me in significant numbers in the future if I am to find love, because she deserves a warm bed, folks. She deserves I'm not going to say a mansion, but she deserves it all. She deserves firearms. She deserves good brothers and people in her life if I can't protect her with a firearm. Now, the one that I end up with, and it may be in the cosmos, these women that I'm attracted to on the ground may be clones of the goddess. For a while, I thought Emily R. was the goddess. Now I understand that she was a vampire into a little this, too much of this. And now I respect women like the one that visited me that was in the military in 2017 for not offering me this when I was like, no, you're not into it? Oh, okay. Now I feel bad about those things. So I want the women to understand this about my sexual history. I was very inactive until 18 or 19. And then was with a woman who was a nightclub woman. I told you about her, about my same age, in that apartment. And then I turned to heroin for no reason because she went on to. So when you're young and you fornicate with women and they leave you, it opens up the door to drugs and alcohol. And it's not the way to start. And good parents should teach their kids about attracting a good man or woman. And I have previous advice videos on it, and I'm going to expand that. And I'm going to buy relationship books, and I'm going to learn about romance. And I'm going to learn about sacred sex, spiritual sex. And when the time is right, I'm going to get a Kama Sutra. I don't want the women to be scared thinking that I fantasize about 100 sex positions. No, I'm just aware that my ancestry has sex powers, orgasm powers. when you do sex in non-rough sex ways and you do certain yoga positions, there's a transference of energy, right? Just to spell it out there for you. There's non-pornographic sexuality that you can think about, not fantasize about. How when you're with a godly, conscious man or woman, how your consciousness could transfer to the other. But first, it should start with telepathy. It should start with a healthy connection and becoming trustful and realizing that this is the kink that I'm seeking before I die. A spiritual connection that is established maybe after months or years of getting to know someone, where you love the one you're with, just like those romantic songs. Now, let's talk further. Do you see how me talking to this woman of my ancestry is helping me heal a little bit, calm down a little bit? Because I need to learn how to talk to women without being traumatized. And that's what a Korean woman, but I thought she was Native American, told me, who I talked to a lot, who was female in the mental hospital. And I also talked to another woman who was forced to have sex with lots of men or be threatened to be beheaded with a machete. Okay. Women that don't have sexual attraction, in my opinion, on earth, the men that want to stop that, are on the dark side or are so blunted by the contaminants. And locally is so bad. I want to rescue these women. Don't know why I want to rescue them. I know they're in hell. I know they're poisoned. I know their feminine bodies are being given cancer. I know that they're going to die early death. They're dumb. They don't know there's free chemicals in the water. They're doing this. They're doing this. They're doing this. They're trusting the same system that's injecting them with poison. No, I know you shouldn't take the jab, and I don't care if you judge me. And that jab I took, that jab you took, like it could have harmed our consciousness and made us depressed because you were a very beautiful girl full of life in that picture. And something happened on the way to where you are now, to where you're afraid of me. But if you're not afraid of me and you're giving me a chance, but you're not yet talking to me, then you are giving me hope in the future generation. That's all I want from you. It's not your body. It's not. But my body says yes, but my heart does not. It's you showing me faith in humanity, and that's what she's doing for me. So we will ride off into the sunset. Now she talked about lust and even some rough thoughts being natural, and me maybe should not judge myself. And I was breaking down going when she talked about the guy having cancer in his penis for not masturbating and telling the others not to. I became very scared and wondered if I'm on the right path. And so I'm going to stay on this path because many of you want me on this path, but I don't want to end up crazy. I want to take this anxiety and angst and rage and be proud of it. Be proud of when I lip sing to Megadeth, and I show that. And I went to the gym last night and I hit that bag in 30 seconds with a fury of punches that was worth like a straight, like, you know, I've never really been in a barroom brawl and don't seek those things out, but that was the energy needed for such a violent situation. Or like, you know, a Las Vegas casino with a bunch of bikers throwing chairs at each other. You know, so I'm not glamorizing violence in the future, but I'm not going to be showing stripper videos or sexual content. I'm going to be showing like heavy metal and men like fighting in casinos, bikers fighting in casinos. I don't have the video of the A-man knocking out 200 or 300 Bloods that try to riot at the hotel by the Portland airport in the early 90s, you know, but I have the story in my mind, very, very like memorized, and know that now I have the power and I'm working to build the endurance, right? Yesterday, I watched the sun come up, you know, and when you're not self-pleasuring and you're not leeching your energy and you're not thinking about certain girls and you're working out and you're sun gazing and you're doing yoga and Tai Chi and Qigong, you can take on a lot of energy. And all of a sudden I'm sprinting now. I'm sprinting and then I stop. I'm sprinting, then I stop, and I can't run very far, but I'm trying. Then I go to the gym and I pump out 12 sets very fast, very intensely. And I feel that I'm very strongly attracted to some woman. She's heavy. And because I'm not self-pleasuring, I'm like, your chakras could be sexually attracted to somebody who doesn't fit because they have good energy. And I'm like, don't look at her. Don't look at her. Don't look at her. Before you know it, look, she's got a 15-year-old son. Yeah, definitely don't look at a mom. And so I just know internally, like Veronica Navarro slept with her and another man, but no sex on top of a building in a place where I was in 2012, right, in the South. And then there's the Muslim woman that I slept with but didn't sleep with, and she trusted me. And then there was Jennifer, who I slept with twice, who was Hispanic, who I didn't force. There was nothing more than caressing of the breast. So I have at least 6 or 7 experiences drinking alcohol, marijuana, and sleeping with women, but not having sex with them because they did know I was nice. And what I did was wrong when I was not spiritual enough at 18 is get caught self-pleasuring in a situation in which I feel that female put herself in a situation to be harmed by me. And maybe she was angry with me for relieving myself instead of forcing myself. See what I'm saying? So I know that I woke up in hell and I've been seeking angelic ones my whole life. Summarizing maybe some more points before I quit here. It's early in the morning. And I try to be quiet early in the morning here on Sunday. Let's see. I'm going to complete this video now. She talked about homelessness, worrying about the archons messing with us because we were talking over Facebook. If you want to connect with me on Facebook, if you want to connect with my local Facebook group where I post local groups, find a way to get in contact with me. Okay? If you're local, locals only. Locals only. If you're watching and you're female and you're local and you came over to the main channel, like I'm taking 7 days away from the 2025 countdown. I'm going to stop talking to strange women. I'm going to look down at the ground when I go in the grocery store. I'm not going to let the beautiful lesbian, she's definitely not watching this channel, zap me in the eyes. When she zapped me in the eyes and attracts me to her, because I know at a psychic level she's drawn to me, and she rejects my platonic advances to give her documentaries, to give her the chapters for my book, and she's treating me with fear like I got a tracking chip, then they are sending mixed messages. From the pretty pictures to the uncomfortable eye contact, repeated eye contact. Now that I know I can't go into the library, I can't go into the bookstore, can't go into the place of higher education, can't go over here, can't go to the mall where the 9-year-old, 10-year-old, 11-year-old, like I don't want to even see that going on. They're wearing certain shorts that are pink. We all know in reality that wearing a certain tone of pink activates man's lust. So we have women out there that are wearing the lust attraction colors, or they're being told by their parents or the people in their culture, you need to look like a pretty this. You need to have your boobies out. You need to look really happy to be the sexiest girl. You need to try to pretend to be this. And then they're being pressured to. Women are being, I want to be a dad more than a fornicator. And basically, this is the closest opportunity that I'm getting to being a dad. No woman locally will let me talk to them or give them a hug, but somebody 2, 3, 4, 5,000, I don't know how many thousand miles away. And that should tell you ladies something about the archons have done to us. And I really just need to get off at 39 minutes. I'm really tapping into the 3s, 6s, and 9s, the 144. I see 144 all the time now. I'm being chased and stalked by 144. 144 on the receipt, 225 on the clock. I can't run from it. I can't hide from it. Okay, I sleep every day 3.5 hours to 4 hours and nothing more. I don't take naps during the day. I'm quitting porn, jerking off, marijuana, alcohol, talking to strange women, but the dreaming about strange women, the longing for one, that will not stop. I cannot stop that. I'm sorry, but I will try to not talk to people I don't know and to stay out of these stupid Disney Fantasyland stuff. See, it's fine for a female to dream about a knight in shining armor to rescue her from the evils of this world. But if I do it and dream about me being a male Cinderella, being stuck at home, being a housewife, fantasizing about somebody rescuing me from this hell on earth and I'm a bad man? No, I'm not. I'm a good man who wants to slay the dragon, who will give my life to save this world from the evil. I refuse to let the corruption of this world take me down, and I will do everything in this world to free myself from this world so that I can find the one and return to paradise. I'm Alex Hansen, reminding you the path to the ultimate truth and place of peace still lies within. Good night.